Do you have any comments or questions or discussion on this before we vote?
Sounds like a great idea.
All right.
I have a question.
Okay.
Do we have to have AD compliance to get basement for when we're going to be classes down there?
I would
Yes.
imagine so, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there'll be like classroom settings down there and probably some areas where changing areas can be made. But yes, it has to be accessible to everyone as well.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? Jack, you good? Good. Okay. Call for the question. Is there, we can,
Somebody's on.
we continue to have some technical difficulties. Well, let's take a real quick roll call. Dave Thomas, you're there, correct?
Yes.
CJ, you're there, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Pam, you're there.
Yeah.
Matt?
And Matt Gregory, are you still out there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay,
So we
everybody.
we
That's
good?
everybody.
Okay. Okay. So we have a motion and a second. We'll call for the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, like sign. Motion is carried. Okay, I will sign this before I leave this evening, and I will.
Tomorrow's fine, whichever.
Okay, well, I can do it this evening when we're finished at the meeting. Okay, F4.
Okay, the next item on your agenda is another general fund budget revision. I apologize I didn't have this information ready during the last budget revision, but we were just trying to get the balances so that we could fix our balance on hand for coming into the budget. And some council can recall the theater grant, the theater grant that we got last fiscal year. We had to ask for an extension of that until September the 30th. We could not get the work completed. Given COVID issues that were going on and just trying to get in there and get the people together, we had to keep everyone separate. There was a time we couldn't get in there at all. We couldn't even work. So they gave us an extension. So we had some expenses, of course, that year, but we couldn't draw on the grant because we didn't have it ready. That grant was for $67,000. So I'd like to roll that grant over into this year for $67,000. Now, it was a 50-50 match. Generally, what I do is I recycle what we got from the last grant in, and that worked well because we'd already expensed $59,000 of that grant. I also have in the budget the $10,000 grant that was just approved there. And then in meeting with the theater committee meeting met this week as well, and Arts 26201 is going to do a fundraiser to help with the ADA grant match part, and they believe they're going to get at least $5,000. So I added that in there. Then to fill in the gap that the city's portion of these grants, we need $22,865 more. Now, I do kind of expect some more donations from the theater, but I can't count on that right now. I know I'm going to get some revenues in miscellaneous. I know that those are going to be coming in. So the total budget revision is $104,865. In your packets, I always put the line items in there rather than the grouping. So in your line items, the theater building, we put $10,000 in there because we had not budgeted anything during the March budget session because we thought we might get this chance to get this other grant, but we didn't. So $10,000 is for items that the grant does not pay for, and that's like the garbage. We have to pay for any excess garbage that we dispose of up there. The electrical and let's see what else. Oh, heat and air, those sorts of things. And the insurance. So $10,000's in there for that. The theater capital to finish out that grant, pick up the city's share of the 50-50 match is $74,865. Again, you're getting a $67,000 grant from that. And then the $20,000 is for the ADA grant, and we'll separate that out so we can track it better. and it is 20,000. City has to pick up 10, but again, Arch 26201 is going to do a fundraiser to help with that. So your revenues and your expenses have to match 144,865 on each of those items for the theater. That's what I have on that.
Okay. Council, you've heard the revision proposal by Amby. This, as always, is a resolution, so will need to be done by a roll call vote. But first, I will call, or I will ask for a motion that we accept this budget revision.
So moved.
We have Mary Allball with the motion, Dave Thomas with the second. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Do we have to sign?
Yeah. Aye.
You got it?
Those opposed, like sign, and I'll defer to Recorder Sanders for the roll call.
Mrs. Allball,
Yes.
Mrs. Bucklew,
Yes.
Mr. Rigger,
Yay.
Mr. Allens,
Yes.
Mr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Sanders votes yes, Mayor Skinner.
Yes,
Okay.
you'll circulate that, we'll sign it. Okay, thanks, Amby. Appreciate that.
Amber, you don't want us to come down and sign tomorrow?
Yes, the ones that can come down if they could, please, or I can come to you, whichever you want to do.
All right.
Okay, Police Chief Matt Gregory.
Thanks, Mayor. I'm a little late to the game. I haven't missed the last meeting. Just want to take an opportunity real quick to congratulate everybody on the respective election or re-election, and especially welcome Jack to City Council. Mayor, regarding my report, just a number of things to report on. Police Department remains busy, besides day-to-day calls and activities, which remain steady. We are involved in 4 major projects that we are currently managing. Leading the pack with that is something I've talked about at length over several meetings in the past, and that's CALEA. Continue with that. Just finished up our mock assessments of our files and working on a response to the recommendations that were made as a result of the mock assessment. I do anticipate that to last throughout the summer, and Mayor, I'll need to get with you probably within the next month or so to schedule a policy committee meeting regarding the some of these changes that I'm making in regard to the mock assessment, and to give another look moving forward here as we prepare for the actual assessment. The second project that we're managing is the replacement cruisers. We've acquired the 3 replacement cruisers that will replace the 3 oldest models in our fleet. I have acquired all 3, have gotten all 3 painted, and are currently working with our vendor in Morgantown to have the emergency equipment installed. In fact, just took one up today that will be the K9 unit. We wanted to make sure we got that done first to run in conjunction with the K9 project. The third project is the in-car and body camera project, and we're working with our vendor. We just received a packet of the necessary paperwork that I'll forward it to Amby and Tom to peruse and work on. And once we get that worked on and worked out, we'll be able to move forward with the project. The project will outfit all 11 cars in our fleet with in-car cameras. We'll also be upgrading our existing body cameras to wireless models that will coincide with the in-car cameras. And we'll also be upgrading our video storage as well. This is a very lengthy project just due to the intricate details that are involved with it. So we do expect this to probably last the rest of this year, next at least 4 or 5 months. And then the final project we're currently working on is the K9 project. We did get the necessary paperwork back to the vendor, Shallow Creek Kennels in Pennsylvania. Sergeant Courtney, who is our designated handler, will travel to that location on August 17th to select the K-9. And he does anticipate beginning his training in late September. Training will last 6 weeks between for him and the K-9. So once we get him back sometime in the early part of November, I would anticipate presenting the K-9 to City Council. As Amby mentioned earlier, we're also testing for the patrol officer vacancy with the police department, and the first phase of this test will be Wednesday, July 29th at the high school at 6 p.m. And we do have 19 applicants that will be testing that evening, so I'm very pleased with that result, that turnout. We do have 5 additional candidates beyond the 19 that remain on the list from previous testing cycles. And then finally, the Police Department Drug Task Force continues to investigate drug activity in our community. Some of the drug investigations I've talked about over the last couple of meetings do continue. Some of them involve complex matters. Task Force is doing a really good job on this. Those with information, just pushing out our tip lines. We try to do this through a variety of mediums. We do encourage anyone with information to either contact the Police Department Comm Center or the crime tip line at 473-1001 or buckhanonpolice.com. And we appreciate any information. We get a lot of valuable information from the community, and in fact, it's because of the community's efforts in assisting us that's really aided us in a lot of our investigations so far. Mayor, that's all I have tonight, unless there's questions.
Are there questions for Chief Gregory?
I have a comment, Robbie.
Okay.
Hey Matt, I had a few phone calls this past week, and I've directed the individuals to come see you and or Doug. Evidently there are some individual younger people that are hiding in bushes in the parks or at the river walk and jumping out to scare people. And I also had a comment where a person walking a dog down Jawbone Park, people on bicycles were looking like they're going to run into them and then veer off at the last minute. Has anybody come down to the station to report those things yet?
No, Dave, I've not heard that. That's
Okay.
sounds pretty troubling, but I've not heard that.
Yeah, I told the individuals, I said, you know, if you have a cell phone, will you take a picture of them? And I'll get the people and call them again and see if they said they would do that. I'm just afraid something's going to get hurt.
Any information we can on that? Yeah, no doubt.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else for Matt? Matt, thanks a lot. Just you let me know when you want to get together, and I'll do my best to make my schedule work, and I can come down to the police department and we can chat.
Will do, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good evening, man. Be safe. Tell your men and women thank you.
Hey, you too.
Okay. Mr. O'Neill.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. One thing I'd like to maybe bring to council's attention, just in light of something that happened recently with respect to a question, I should say, that arose with respect to the city, one of the city's social media accounts. Just want to make the members aware of the interplay of the First Amendment with social media, and a reminder to all of you that any official social media outlet on behalf of the city, or even your personal social media outlets, if you use them for official city communications or communications related to your office, that First Amendment protections can apply to those. They certainly apply in the case of the the official city accounts. But just remember that there have been rulings by the United States Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit relating to, and that's the circuit that covers West Virginia, that relate to the inability of official outlets to block individuals on social media or delete or edit comments. That the courts recognize social media in those circumstances as public forums, and in the interest of the First Amendment, we just need to be very careful about what you do, even in the face of speech that is offensive and misleading, and so on. There have been individuals, there have been public officers in Virginia, in particular, Northern Virginia, who have been sued successfully for blocking individuals on social media, Facebook or Twitter, and deleting or editing comments. So, you can certainly respond and rebut comments that you feel are in error, whether you see them on official or unofficial outlets. But just always keep in mind that blocking and deleting can constitute violations of the free speech clause of the First Amendment. So just want to keep that in mind. Make sure that we're always on the right side of the law, and go forward. And if we're going to have a social media presence, we got to take the bad with the good. That was my kind of nugget for the day.
Mary doesn't know how to delete a message.
Good. God bless you.
I can barely copy it. Sorry.
Okay, you're going to stick around. We do have
Yes, absolutely. I'm here.
an executive session following the council meeting for pertinent to personnel matters, so if you'll stick around. That takes us down to correspondence and information. There are a few different things in your packet. Invoice number 7 and change of scope number 1, budget revisions, the emergency power power generator for FEMA. That is in your packet. Purchase agreement for the new fire apparatus at the city fire department that we acted upon last time. That's in your packet. Historic Landmarks Commission regularly scheduled meeting. We were supposed to have one on the 20th of July. But there are really no new developments pertinent to historic landmarks, and part of what the council we need to work on for appointments here in the next few weeks. There is a vacancy on historic landmarks, that being myself. I was the council rep on that. So spoke with Amby, spoke with Erica Kolinich, and so we will not be having that meeting on the 20th. We'll probably just wait and have a meeting in October, which would be the next regularly scheduled Historic Landmarks meeting. And then finally in your packet, we were provided updated contact information for Suddenlink. And that physical address is 4939 Tays Valley Road, Scott Depot, West Virginia, 25560. The local phone number for that is 304-760-2023. I have many contacts in the Kanawha Valley, and it seems that either they may not be set up there yet.
It's an answering service.
Okay.
I'm trying to call. So we need to try to contact that lady and get an extension number for that answering service. I just tried it.
So we need an extension to go with that phone number. That could be the trick. Okay, but you have the updated physical address, and we will work on obtaining an extension for that phone number. Under the consent agenda, we have the approval of the minutes from the July 2nd meeting, the approval of the building and wiring permits, and then the approval of paying the bills that come in here to City Hall. I would entertain a motion that we pass our consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Rigger. We have a second by Mrs. Allball. If there's no further discussion on that, I'll call for the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, those like sign, motion carries. We have dispensed with all of our strategic issues already. So we are down to G, which are the, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, we did have, Callie, did we have any questions come in?
That's a good point.
Not the last time I checked, let me look one last time.
Mr. Mayor would say we do have the one.
We do have one that just came in a few minutes ago from Dr. Timothy Reese, asking if his questions would be addressed.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna point out, yes. There's a question in the packet from Dr. Timothy Reese that we need to address.
Thank you.
Yes.
So we received an email at City Hall that was to myself, several council members, and then Amby and Jerry. Tim's questions are relative to the reopening of West Virginia Wesleyan College this fall, and what collaboration is in place relative to the city of Buckhannon with the college administration as the college plans to reopen. You want?
Look, I can go ahead and read it.
If you want to, that's fine. Go ahead.
So the email was Mr. Mayor, councilpersons, WVWC administration, questions for council for meeting on 7/16/2020. Mr. Reese asked, with consideration to the predicted fall wave of a COVID-19 infection along with the current spike of the first wave the United States is currently experiencing, and with the announcement that West Virginia Wesleyan College will be welcoming the fall attendance by students this year, are there any actions being discussed within the WVWC administration with our city council regarding social distancing, group sizes, dorm occupation procedures, and house and fraternity parties with regard to this population infusion by persons outside our city, county, state, and country? Have any questions or restrictions been discussed within city council? There should be a public statement made by the city council and Wesleyan with regard to any and all safety guidelines after the council meeting on 7/16/2020. There's only one more council meeting before the students arrive for the fall semester. And will our law enforcement be given authority to take action if reckless behavior is observed? Thank you, Timothy S. Reese, OD.
Mr. O'Neill, if you want to address a few of the, from a legal standpoint, where the city...
Well, the city doesn't speak for the college, certainly. I'm aware that the college, and there's information included in the packet, the college has devoted a great deal of time and attention to this question, and I'd have to defer any questions on their plans to them. We don't regulate the college. We don't regulate COVID enforcement necessarily, except in particularly egregious situations, which none have arisen in this town as of yet. I think most people and most institutions operating in this city have acted as responsibly as we could probably expect. With respect to the last part of the question, will the city police be empowered to, you restate?
And will our law enforcement be given authority to take action if reckless behavior is observed?
Law enforcement can only take action if laws are violated, and it is not appropriate for the city to treat members of the college community, including students, to single them out for any kind of enforcement action. I think the question of enforcement of COVID regulations, I do think that with respect to city policies, we've been, the city police, previous actions of the council have been to be on the lookout for problematic behavior and to encourage people to act in a responsible manner. But if the question is, are we going to be issuing tickets or, God forbid, arresting anybody? I mean, I would be surprised if things went that far. I mean, the province of COVID enforcement is the health department and the college regulating their internal affairs.
Well, they're in our packet. It's a return to campus plan from from Westland.
That's right.
And
Where you see the more gray writing in those boxes versus the black online, those are actually links to the particular, where there's even more information underneath all of those hyperlinks.
maybe we could put a link on our
Yeah.
website.
I would, that's a great suggestion.
Great idea,
Yeah, put it on our website.
Callie, the link that I shared with you earlier in the week with the college's reopening plan, could we put a link to that as well on our city website?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. That was a very good suggestion by Council Lady Allball. And to those out there viewing us and to the media, I've looked at the plan of what they have so far at the college, and I know that they've spent a lot of time this summer working on every facet of it, from the academic side in the classroom to living in the dorms to the Greek life to athletics. I would encourage those interested to check out wvwc.edu. It's right in the middle of the page, the link that shows the return to campus. And I think, Westland's really shown that they are on the ball, that they really are concerned about this. And I know for a fact they're concerned about this, not only just for their campus community, but for the Buckhannon community at large. I mean, nobody wants a collective outbreak at either the campus block or in our town.
The college folks live in this town too.
Right, yes. The college is an integral part.
Stayed all summer.
We have faculty that live here, administrators that live here, students that live here, and it's a delicate balance. We want the college to return. This community, so much of who we are is a college town, and I know our merchants and restaurants and bars they're missing the revenue that the college students bring in. So we want the college to return, but we want them to do it as safely as possible. And I think what's been done so far is great. I did reach out, just so the council's aware, late yesterday afternoon to President Thierstein. Just a quick email to say, I'd like, if you want to meet up, we'd be happy to meet. You're welcome to come to council to talk about any of the plans. If there's anything you need from us, we're here to help. I do understand he's had a death in the family, so I don't know when he'll be getting back to us. But
Are they gonna, maybe when they do welcome the students and stuff, just not everybody's got email and Facebook and all that, but maybe our press could share this information of what Wesleyan is doing, and it's not matter of fact, it's the younger children that I worry about going back to school and riding school buses and whatnot. Sure. Not this, but no, they live here.
right.
They shop here. They eat here. This is their home away from home, and they'll be treated the same way that they've always been treated.
Right. I do know that the college does plan on on pushing their plan out to several different mediums, whether it be online, but also into the print papers.
Oh, you said they are going to do that.
They do plan to do that.
Because I think that's what Tim is asking for, is just some advice about it, some information about it.
Yeah, I think the mayor, perfect from what I understand. And just the people I know that work at the college, this has been one of the toughest summers they've ever had in their lives, because they have worked so many more hours than usual on these plans. I don't know the details of all the plans because they're still formulating them.
Right.
But they are going to get the plans and the information out to the public very, very soon, so that we all will know the appropriate way to welcome the college students back.
Right. Right. And I'm sure that if anybody has any questions of the college, any of our citizens, I'm sure that, emails or phone calls can be made to the college in the days and weeks ahead coming. But I would encourage, if you have access to the internet, to please go online and check out the return to campus plan that the college has put forth. And we will continue to work closely with them as we always do as a community together. So.
Well,
Mayor, it's up on our, sorry, Dave. It's up on our buckhannon.org/COVID-19 page now.
Awesome.
Oh, very
Great
good.
job.
Already?
Already.
Yeah.
Yep, it's
but I
there.
think we have to make it clear, Kelly, that we're not necessarily endorsing their plan. It's just that we're sharing what the information is.
Right, and
Does that make
quite a
sense?
bit, I've done it kind of like a blog style, so some of the other information I've shared too, of course, a lot of it from the DHHR or the health department, so it's kind of a sharing of information.
Yeah.
I think, and identified as West Virginia Wesleyan College's return to campus plan as opposed to a city.
Target, because things are still very much in play. I mean, are they going to have football this season at the high school or at the college? I don't think anybody knows for sure yet.
Day by day.
Okay. All right. Thanks to Dr. Reese for chiming in and for sending us some questions.
Conversation.
We always appreciate hearing from our citizens. Okay, we are down to comments and announcements, and first up is Mrs. Allball.
I don't have a thing. We've had a good meeting tonight.
Pamela Bucklew.
All I want to say is I hope people will listen about wearing their masks out and in groups, protecting not only those people but yourself. And I hear that there are people who are really bucking this, and I don't think it's very smart. So just want to encourage people to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam.
Yes.
CJ.
I don't have anything, thank you.
All right. Mr. Thomas, anything further?
No comments. Thanks.
Mr. Rigger.
No comments, thank you.
Mr. Sanders.
Well, I'll break the mold. I do want to give a shout out to Dixie Green. First year as our horticulturalist, the flowers are phenomenal. They just keep getting better and better every day. I had some folks come through Buckhannon on a quick drive-through and trip, and again, just like before from so many others, they just couldn't believe our flowers. Jerry Arnold, Brad Hawkins, the Gateway West project is moving along really well. Buck Samples, I was at the sanitary meeting this evening, the 33 West extensions, both south and north, and the Zeno Street activities is phenomenal. They're making great progress. Kelly Arnold with the water department, Jeff Walmsley, busiest season ever at the transfer station. So Mayor, the city is running very, very well, and it's been a very good month thus far, so kudos to your new term. And
I didn't do it.
you haven't broken anything yet.
I haven't broken it.
So I just wanted to, everybody's doing a great job. They're working, the summer's busy and everybody's working very hard. Ambi and her crew in the office, and Tom and the
Back there
other.
printing money, I tell you.
Yeah.
$451,000.
Exactly.
She printed
Very good.
$451,000.
It's itching, that's why you're supposed to be receiving money if your hand itches like that. Come on, Andy.
Thank you, Randy. Anything else?
I'm good.
I echo what others have said. I'm appreciative of the street crews working on Main Street this week and repainting the lines, helping folks know where to park on Main Street. just anything we can do right now to help our business owners who are, struggling, and we want to keep our main street as viable as possible. It's such a crown jewel for our town, and getting the curbs painted and the lines painted, just helping people know where to park more easily. It's just, always improving the experience coming downtown. So I really appreciate them working on that. I echo what Randy said. All of our public works are working extremely well. They're very efficient, and we want to certainly just keep that momentum and stay out of their way and be the, when they need some direction, we're here. But they're the day in, day out heroes of our town. So we appreciate everything that they do. I too want to implore the people of our community of Upshur County to please wear a mask when you're outside in public. If you go to the grocery store, I know Walmart and Kroger's both have corporately mandated masks. If you go into any store, I plead with you to wear a mask. We don't want to be Morgantown to have to say, that you have to. We've got great people in this town. We've got great people in this county, and if we want our businesses to survive, if we want our neighbors to stay healthy, this is something we just got to do. And this takes everybody. When I put this on, this isn't for me. And when you put that on, it's not for you. It's for everybody that we interact with, and to do it for the love and consideration of the people that are around us. So I thank everybody in here for having your mask on. I applaud the people who are wearing masks, and I just ask that everybody please consider wearing a mask. If you're not going to do it for yourself, just do it for everybody around you. I mean, you just never know who's got a parent that is highly susceptible, or with hospice, or on dialysis, or you just don't know. We don't know what people are out there facing, and we just want to do it for people to. For the love and kindness of our neighbors. And that's what I have to say about the masks. I hope that people will wear them and we can get through this. We can get through this. But it's just going to take everybody to pull together to follow the guidelines in place. That is all I have. It is 8:25. We do have an executive session, so I would entertain a motion that we adjourn from our regular session. For the media, there will be no decisions made tonight. This is a personnel matters pertinent to the council. And council, if we adjourn, I would like us to maybe get back together around between 8:30 and 8:35. We'll give Channel 3 some time to pack up. But that's all I have for the evening. Thanks everybody for watching us and being with us, and we'll entertain a motion.
What?
You're motioning.
Oh,
That we
yes, I
adjourn.
am.
Okay. Thanks everybody. We'll see you next time.
I'm